YouTube, welcome back to the channel, man. And in today's video, I got you guys my updated top 5 best loadouts for Warzone 2 Season 4. Since Season 4 has been out for a couple of weeks now, I think it's safe to say we know what the meta is now. So in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys the top 5 best class setups that you should be using right now. So really quick, before I do jump into the loadouts, man, as always, I want to shout out today's Noti gang. And of course, if you guys are new around here, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. So starting today's video off, I got you guys with arguably the best assault rifle in Warzone 2 right now, man, the Lockman 5.56. A lot of people call this gun the Growl 2.0, and I believe them because this thing has no recoil and it absolutely beams. So the first attachment we want on this Lockman 5.56 is going to be the Harbinger D20 muzzle for the sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. And once we have on the Harbinger muzzle, we're going to tune it for a plus 0.90 for more recoil smoothness, and then max out the bullet velocity to give us extra range. Next up, we want to make sure we throw on the 15.9 Lockman wrap barrel for the bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control, and better hip fire accuracy. This is definitely the best barrel. And on our Lockman wrap barrel, we want to tune it for a plus 0.40 for recoil steadiness, and then max out the damage range here. For the optic, we're going with the Ammo PV4. This is my personal favorite optic in Warzone 2. It's super clean and really good for those mid to long range gunfights, which is where this Lockman is going to be very good. On our Ammo P scope, we're going to tune it for max flinch resistance, and then far is just what your FOV is when you're scoped in, so you always want to have far to be able to see the most possible. Next up, we're going to throw in the F-Tag Ripper 56 underbarrel for the aiming idle stability, hip fire accuracy, and even more recoil stabilization. At this point, the Lockman 5.56 is an absolute beam. And on the F-Tag Ripper, we're going to max out the recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability, again just lowering the recoil as much as possible. And lastly, of course, we do want to go with the 60 round mag here because of the health buff. It is going to require a little bit more ammo to get your kills, so I would definitely recommend going with the 60 round mag here. And here you guys have the full Lockman 5.56 build that I would honestly put at the #1 spot for assault rifles in Warzone 2 right now. Now matching up perfectly with our Lockman 5.56 is going to be the new ISO 45 SMG that was just added in Season 4. This thing's been dominating Warzone 2 ever since it was added, and you guys definitely need to rock this gun if you haven't yet. So starting off our ISO 45, we have the Spiral Flash Hider muzzle, and we're going to tune it for a little bit of aim down sight speed and then a little bit more gun kick control. Now the ISO 45 is a very good SMG, and I'm going to tune it for the most aim down sight speed possible. And next up, we want to put on the 9-inch PTX trainer barrel, by far the best barrel for the ISO 45, and you want to tune it for a little bit of aim walking speed and then more damage range. I have a plus 0.26. Next up, we want to put on the Demo Fade tack stock here, and we're going to tune this for aim down sight speed and aim walking speed, again just upping the mobility of this ISO. And next up, we have the EXP shear rear grip tuned for aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed, again just making this ISO 45 as fast as we can. And lastly, we do want the 45 round mag so that we're able to get at least a few kills before having to reload this thing. And honestly, I would put this at the #1 spot in Warzone 2 SMGs right now. With the loadout I just showed you guys, man, you should be absolutely dominating. Now getting straight into the second loadout, I got you guys with the most broken M4 build in Warzone 2. You're going to start it out with the Sacred Tread 40 muzzle, and you're going to tune that for aim down sight speed and recoil control. Next up, we have the High Tower 20-inch barrel on our M4, and we're going to tune this for a little bit of recoil steadiness and then just a tiny bit of aim down sight speed here because we don't want to lose much of the damage range. Next up, we're going to go with the F-Tag Ripper 56 underbarrel, basically a go-to for all assault rifles, and you're going to tune this for recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. This is really where the low recoil on the M4 is going to come in. Then make sure you guys put on the X10 rear grip here, and you're going to want to tune this for recoil steadiness as well, and then just a little bit of sprint to fire speed. We want to keep this M4 as low recoil as possible, but we also don't want to slow down the mobility a lot. And then lastly, on our M4, of course, we want the 60 round mag. Due to the health buff, we are going to have to rock some of the larger magazines now. So you guys have the best M4 build in Warzone 2 right now, and I would definitely recommend giving this loadout a try. For the secondary to go with that broken M4 loadout, I got you guys with this insane Lockman sub build. So you're going to start it out with the L38 Falcon barrel tuned for recoil steadiness and aim down sight speed. Next up, we want to throw in the mirror recoil stock here, and we're going to tune this for aim down sight speed and aiming idle stability, again just bringing up the movement speed of the Lockman sub while also keeping the recoil low. Next up, we want to throw in the Lockman TCG10 rear grip tuned for aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. This is really just going to up the movement speed and mobility of our Lockman sub. And next up, we want to put on the over pressured rounds for the target flinch. Trust me, this makes a huge difference in gunfights. When you shoot people with over pressured rounds, it is a lot harder for them to hit you. and we do want to tune these for damage range and even more bullet velocity. And then lastly, we're going to go with the 40 round mag here. Now you could go with the 50 because of the health buff, but it does slow down the MP5 just a little bit too much for me. So I've still been rocking the 40, but you could definitely go with the 50 here, just depending on your personal preference. That's going to be the second loadout, and I honestly think that is still one of the best Warzone loadouts at the moment. And let's go ahead and jump into the third loadout. At loadout number 3, I got you guys with one of my favorite assault rifles in Warzone 2, the TAC 56. This thing has been one of the best assault rifles since the beginning of Warzone 2, and that hasn't changed. This build right here is an absolute beam, and I would definitely recommend it to you guys. So we're going to start out with the Harbinger D20 muzzle here, and we're going to tune it for recoil smoothness and bullet velocity. Next up, we want to put on the 17.5 Tundra Pro barrel here, and we're going to tune this for recoil steadiness and damage range. Already just making our TAC 56 a beam. It's still giving it the best range possible for those medium to long range gunfights. And then of course we got the AMO PV4. Like I said earlier, just one of the best, if not the best scope in Warzone 2. And you're going to tune this for flinch resistance and far. And then we got the F-Tag Ripper 56, just one of the go-to attachments for all assault rifles. And you're going to tune this for recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. At this point, the TAC 56 is an absolute beam. And then to finish off this TAC 56, we got the 60 round mag, of course, to keep us from having to reload all the time. Now, matching up perfectly with that TAC 56 build is going to be this insane MP7 class. Now, this honestly is my favorite SMG in Warzone 2. The movement and mobility of the MP7 just makes it so fun. So for this class, I got y'all the Tango 228 barrel, and you're going to tune this for recoil steadiness and damage range. Next up, we got the VLK laser for some mobility. We got sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed maxed out here to really up the movement of our MP7. And then we want to throw in the Demo RXT stock for some more aim down sight and aim walking speed. Like I said, the mobility on the MP7 is just so good. And then for the rear grip on this build, we're going to throw in the Schlager Soldier Grip for even more aim down sight and sprint to fire speed. At this point, the mobility on our MP7 is ridiculous. And then to finish it off, we do want the 50 round mag. Now, this is going to be one of the most fun loadouts in Warzone 2. If you guys do try it out, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the fourth loadout. So next up, I got you guys with one of the newly meta weapons, the SO14. A lot of people are calling this the DMR 2.0. And I got to be honest, it's really fun to use and honestly way better than I thought it would be. I was having a ton of fun rocking this class, so I think you guys would too. So to start it off, we're going to go with the Tempest GH50 muzzle here. And we're going to max out the recoil stabilization and recoil control. And next up, we're going to throw in the 22-inch Boremaster barrel for recoil steadiness and even more damage range. You guys already know we're rocking the AMO PV4 scope on this thing for flinch resistance and far. As always, my AMOP tuning never changes. And we are going to throw in the F-Tag Ripper 56 here for a little bit of recoil stabilization and just a little bit more aiming idle stability. At this point, this DMR 2.0 is an absolute beam, and I think it's one of the best guns in Warzone 2 right now. And we do want to throw in the F-Tag Ripper 56 underbarrel here for a little bit of recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. And to finish off this DMR 2.0, we got the 50 round drum. Now, this gun is newly meta, man. If you guys haven't tried it out, definitely let me know what you guys think. I've been having a ton of fun using it. And to go with the SO14, I got you guys an updated Season 4 Baznev build that I've been absolutely frying with. So to start it off, we're going to go with the Spiral Flash Hider muzzle, tuned for aim down sight speed and gun kick control. Next up, we want to put on the CAS 1 254mm barrel for aim walking speed and aim down sight speed. Then we want to throw in a stock, and that's going to be the Marquise R7 stock for even more aim down sight and aim walking speed. At this point, the Baznev has insane mobility. For the rear grip on this Baznev build, we're throwing on the TrueTac grip for aim down sight and even more sprint to fire speed. At this point, man, the Baznev is just ridiculously fast. And then lastly, for this Baznev class, we got the 45 round mag. This is another insane loadout for you guys to be rocking right now. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the fifth and final loadout. So coming in at the number 5 spot, I got you guys with this insane low recoil cast off 545 build. Now, just because this is number 5 does not mean this is a bad loadout at all. The 545 is honestly pretty underrated and very good right now. So to start it off, we want the X10 Havoc 90 muzzle, and we're going to tune this for recoil stabilization and recoil control. Next up, we want to put on the IGK30 barrel, and we're going to tune it for recoil steadiness and even more damage range. As always, man, I got on the AMO PV4 scope tuned for flinch resistance and far. And then we want to throw in the high velocity rounds to help out with some of that damage range, and we're going to tune it for max damage range and max bullet velocity. This makes a huge difference on the 545 build. And to finish it off, we're going to put on the 60 round mag, of course. And matching perfectly with that cast off 545 is the updated Season 4 Bass P build. Now, the Bass P doesn't get the love it deserves because it is honestly one of the best SMGs in Warzone right now. And you're going to start it off with the 10.5 Brewing barrel, tuned for recoil steadiness and a little bit of ADS speed. Next up, we want the VLK laser on our Bass P, tuned for aim walking steadiness and aim down sight speed. Next up, make sure you guys throw on the Bruin flash stock, and you're going to tune it for a little bit of ADS speed and aim walking speed here to just up the mobility of our Bass P. And then we do want to throw on the hollow point rounds for the crippling power. This makes it a lot harder for your enemies to run away when you shoot them with the Bass P. And we're going to tune it for damage range and bullet velocity. And then lastly, on this Bass P, we're going to finish it off with the 50 round drum. So that's going to be the 5 loadouts that I recommend you guys use in Warzone 2 right now. As always, if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like. And of course, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.